Chris Nicholson investigates the music, clothes and lifestyle of the Gothics.
Thursday evening in central London, midnight, and the city's leading Gothic nightclub, the Kit Kat, is just coming to life. Inside the Kit Kat, it's very dark and very, very noisy. That may be true of many nightclubs, but by any standards, the people in the Kit Kat are dressed outrageously. The dominating colour is black. Black satin, black rubber, black hair. Both women and men wear makeup. They have whitened faces, dark eyeshadow, purple lipstick. The effect is sinister and glamorous. Death, sex and beauty rolled into one. The Gothic look.
I try as much for me to make this into a lifestyle. I go around dressed like this most of the time. I mean, Gothic's just a style. Just dress up and sort of put on our wigs, etc., and all try and look like Dracula.
The term Gothic was originally used to describe a style of church architecture in medieval Europe, but in the late 18th century it became associated with romance and spine-chilling mystery, with ghosts, werewolves and other nasty apparitions. In Britain today, though, most Gothics, or Goths as they're usually known, draw their inspiration largely from the Hammer horror movies of the 1930s and 40s, Frankenstein, Dracula. 22-year-old Sean Cronin from West London actually models his clothes style on Count Dracula. His usual daily garb includes a lace shirt and a black rubber frock coat. His head is mostly shaven, except for a samurai top knot, and he carries around a pair of fangs. Styling himself a gentleman vampire, he's also the lead singer of a Gothic rock band called the Screaming Marionettes.
One of our tunes, Screaming Master, is it's almost like a poem. The chorus goes, I am the screaming master, I scream louder, I scream faster, I scream laced with belladonna. No hero can save you or set you free, I'm afraid, my dear, you belong to me. That sort of thing. Quite haunting, quite frightening, but the melodies are so sweet. You would never suspect that this kind of message is behind.
No hero can save you, I'll set you free. I'm afraid, my dear, you belong to me. I'm screaming master. And I'll scream late, with belladonna.
Simon Forbes is the founder of Antenna, London's top hairdresser for goths. He's in no doubt that Gothic has its origins in the punk subcult of more than a decade ago.
I think it starts really with the punk movement from '76, in fact, and that was the root. It was those people, those kids who wanted to change their style and their image, but didn't want to lose the impact that they had had with the punk image. So they wanted to move into something else which is completely different, but at the same time maintain a certain vicious edge to it, if you like, which they found that the Gothic image could give them.
Is Gothic now completely separate from punk?
Yeah, totally separate, yeah.
Though Gothic may have grown out of punk, it's become something very different. The punks of 1976 and 77 were working class and angry. Goths are more like 60s hippies, more middle class, more peaceable, more relaxed. While they don't have a distinct philosophy, they do see themselves as artistic and individualistic. Sean says that most of them, unlike most punks, have got jobs.
As well as doing the band, I have a fashion company. We make our own clothes and things. I mean, a lot of people that are very, very creative that are Gothic. They do all sorts of things. Some of them work in quite normal jobs, but still carry their image off at the same time. Some of them, because they appear unemployable, they take it to their own hands to do something themselves, like make clothes or form a band or some kind of theatrical thing or something. I think people that are like this are often far more creative. It's much more fun to see people dressing up and having a good time, just walking around in dowdy grey tweeds and things. But, you know what I mean? It just adds more colour to life, you know.
So what do people think when you walk down the street? What sort of reactions do you get?
I get people laughing sometimes at me, sometimes with me. They know it's tongue-in-cheek. It's not a joke, but it's done for fun because I like to brighten people's days up or darken them down, whichever you think is more apt.
Why not dress up as a vampire if that's what you want to do? But while some goths just play at it, dressing up at weekends, The fascinating thing is that most treat their Gothicism with real seriousness. As Simon Forbes says, it's not a pose, it's a full-time way of life.
Whether it's for a year or whether it's for 20 years doesn't actually make any difference. Whilst it's happening, it's all the way or nothing. And that is the major difference, I think, between London and perhaps a lot of, certainly America and perhaps a lot of other European countries as well. That in London, it's not just superficial. You know, you can't just put it on as a kind of fancy dress uniform and go out and have fun. That's not what it's about.
To live Gothic properly also involves decorating your home in a particular way. In West London, there's a shop called Artificial Eye, where Goths go to buy such accessories as human skulls. The manageress, Flea, who's a Goth herself, offered me a choice.
We've got ones both made out of plaster of Paris. One just has the top of the skull, but with no bottom jaw, and the other one's just with a bottom jaw as well, and latex is painted over the top, and well, they'll have either one or two glass eyes in them.
They've also got hair as well.
Yes, but that's fake hair, that's not real hair.
Why would anybody want to buy these?
To decorate their home, cheers the place up maybe a bit, makes it look a bit better, more homely.
Have you got a skull in your home?
Yes, I have.
Sean of the Screaming Marionettes is in rented accommodation, but he's looking forward to the day when he'll have a Gothic-style home of his own.
It's not going to be all black with dustbin liners all over the walls like I've seen some punky people's flats. It's going to be a lot more, possibly a bit more monastic. I'm going to have a nice fireplace put in and lots of lush velvets and things because I said I'm into the real Gothic thing, the 18th century look, so I'm going to sort of simulate a great big church in my front room, if you like, maybe. I don't know yet. I've got to find the right property yet.
The bass guitarist with the Screaming Marionettes, Baz, already lives the Gothic lifestyle to the full. He's got a black cat tattooed on his shoulder and wears his hair down over his face because, he says, he's got an aversion to daylight, like a vampire. In his home, until recently, he kept a lot of rats.
I've still got one rat, a very sweet little thing. He's never actually bitten anyone. He's maybe disappointed as being a rat. People are intimidated by these things.
Do you keep your rat in a cage?
No, I don't like anything caged. I just let it run around the flat. It's perfectly all right. It sort of crops up in various places.
Do Gothics sometimes have dead animals, dead birds in their houses?
Yes, I personally don't like wearing or being around anything that rots on me. And dead animals do tend to rot. So, I do know people have collections of various dead things for whatever reasons. You know, I wouldn't advocate this myself.
They wear these?
I've seen people go around with dead things hanging off, yes, sort of various objects, interesting things. They'd certainly tell you it's a bona fide form of fashion. It's just a form of jewellery to them.
It may be just jewellery, but to many people, wearing dead animals begins to smack of Satanism. Certainly, in its Hammer horror tradition, Gothic is intimately linked with black magic. And according to Flea, quite a few Goths do indulge in the black arts.
There is quite a strong following. I wouldn't say everybody is. I'm not into black magic. But you do get people who dabble into it, people who are witches. Some people have joined societies in the occult. I'd say it's quite strong.
Black magic isn't something I could get any Goths to admit to on tape, though the wearing of black crucifixes is certainly very common. But is the link with Satanism that serious? Simon Forbes.
No, not really. I don't think so. I mean, I think that there may be a certain link in terms of spirituality, in the same sense that the hippie movement would link itself into Zen Buddhism.
What's particularly interesting about Gothic at the moment is that it's showing signs of exporting itself. Flea, in her shop, has customers from West Germany, Spain, Italy, and even further afield, from Australia and the United States and Japan.
I would say it's been bubbling under for about 4 years, and now it's really starting to break through. More people who are Gothic are getting more affluent, getting more power to really spread the word. Before, it was just an underground thing, but it's just grown up. More people have really grown up. It's positive thinking punk, really.